If you loved part 1 with John Crist, you're certainly about to love part 2. It was that good. It was worth splitting up into 2 parts.
Just kind of dealing with this private battle that I was dealing with for a long time and no one knew about. It's like I got caught, and I maybe chose a healthy solution from that. And but I still struggle with being honest about myself. After a show, I would go into my hotel room at night. I was physically unable to last alone and sober through the night. It's just like, what was I escaping from exactly?
Mm-hmm.
Why? What thoughts or what honest thoughts about myself was I so scared? And now I'm not scared of that anymore.
You literally do the exact opposite. Like you go on stage and you're like, no, here I was suicidal. Like that for a man in particular to talk about that.
Yeah.
I had this drinking problem. I had a sexual problem.
Yeah.
And like, hey, this is all about me, but like I'm here doing this for you right now. Have you felt your purpose change?
1,000%.
What is it now and what was it?
I mean, I still want to be like a comedian. I want to be the best comedian ever.
The platform that God given you to do your purpose. So like our purpose isn't what we do.
Yeah, you go, oh man, if there's 2,000 people in this show tonight, odds are there's a lot of people in here struggling with depression, especially if you're at a comedy show. You're drawn to, you want to pay $100 to come out to. There's some
to laugh.
Yeah, you need it. Or there's some. What are you gonna? Those people are dying in there, but everybody is, dude. Everybody on the internet, everybody's is kind of dealing with this private battle that I was dealing with for a long time and no one knew about. It's like, dude, everybody out there, and you get so many like messages after every show, be like, oh, that show was hilarious, but like, thanks for, and you're like, man, I wouldn't. You just want to like. I think I know because when I was at the bottom, what those words meant to me from other people. That I go, yeah. What are we doing? If it's not my buddy's brother got a DUI, and it was like, oh, do we like talk to him? Do we like, what's he doing? I was like, dude, give me his number. I'll call him right now. And I'll be like, dude, what's up? You're not alone. Not too much to give him Bible verses or anything like that. But like, dude, people are dying. You look on the internet, dude, people are having a hard time. It's a lot of hard. And you're like, man, like, what people have done for me is they used to want to pass it. We went to visit my buddy in jail. That it was like he got 4 DUIs, and you're like, that's I don't know, shameful or like you're like, maybe he just wants to be left alone out there. I go, no, he doesn't, man. Yeah. He doesn't. Let's go see him. Let's go write him a letter. Let's throw him a party. He's made a bad choice, and you got to pay for those choices, and there's consequences, sure, but this is a good guy, dude.
How nervous were you the first time you went on stage and you talked about what you went through, and like how comfortable are you now being like, this is who I am?
Well, I mean, nobody really. It would be kind of arrogant to think that like everybody knows and or cares about that in my life. Like now, I talk about it now, and people come to the meet and greet. They're like, dude, we had to look that up. I go, oh, yeah. I'm like, yeah, you guys all know. They're like, no, we don't. We just saw your video like recently, and then we just came to the show in Phoenix, so we don't really know about all this. I was like, oh.
Oh, so you had,
I'm like, guys, obviously,
fans
and they're like,
honey, get away from him.
Yeah, it's like a little cocky, dude.
Unfollow him.
Yeah. That it's not like, I mean, but yeah, that it kind of like, I mean, that was in the fall. Think about that. It was in the fall of 2019. How much has happened
forever ago
in the world since then? Like, and I've put it out into the light either, and I go, so it doesn't hold any kind of shame or nothing. You go look up whatever you want.
You're comfortable about it.
Yes, dude.
Because
I don't care. I mean, I do care, obviously, but it doesn't. If you're gonna, I mean, no one has ever in person ever said anything negative to me ever. It's all on the internet.
Yeah.
No one.
That's how everything
Also,
works.
you know what's also true is I don't think that about myself anymore.
Do you still look for it?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, I do.
Why?
Well, I mean, if you look at the comments and you look at the DMs, on Facebook and Instagram after a show, I guess you look until you find a bad one.
Well, you do apparently.
I do.
Why?
I think everybody does that. Maybe they don't. I don't know.
So like, I think there's a way to like use it to as metrics, like what worked, what hit, what didn't
Yeah,
work.
everybody says that.
This is a study.
Oh, I need to learn.
Yeah.
No, you don't, dude. Yeah.
But I think more people, like I would look for the positives, and I would laugh at so like when people tweet me mean things, like hey, can you read, huh? Like if you stumble over something on there, I retweet it all the time. Like
You
I
do.
always retweet it.
Yeah.
I think
Because
that's
that's it. What that is
a defense mechanism.
Because somebody said John Crist, because I talk about like it's like this bit about spanking, about how like my niece and nephews are like wild, and I was like, I will hit a kid. I will hit this kid. I was like, y'all go to the bathroom, wink at me, I will hit your child. It's like a joke. And then somebody on Twitter is like, oh, John Crist advocates for hitting children, and you look at the rest of their feed, and it's all the same thing. Towards you're that guy. That's your personality. But again, that guy had made a Twitter, and then he started like, and then he got attention. Or I was wearing Atlanta Braves shirt the other day, and somebody's like, wow, racist. And you're like, I was like, oh, you're that guy. But then, so if I see one of those, I usually don't post it you would post it. I don't post it, but what I do the same thing is I screenshot it and send it to someone who I know is going to say that person's crazy. Yeah. And they're like, oh, I feel better. I feel better about myself. Yeah. Because this is like, people do that with their fan bases all the time, like repost. I was like, yeah, but this is a lot of people that love you. Mm-hmm. Of course they're going to be like, wow, crazy. And then you feel better. Especially when there's an inkling of truth, maybe.
Well, that's it. Like, but if it's true and you can admit it, then it's like, yeah, no, I couldn't read that day. That was a bad day.
And they go, hey, tomorrow. Will maybe was not. I didn't like that shirt, or he looks tired, or
I'd wear it again tomorrow.
You would?
Yeah. We're gonna double down on this.
But that's a coping mechanism too.
Tweet them back.
Yeah.
Tune in tomorrow. Wait till you see what I wear.
Yeah, you get them. Yeah. Well, there's a lose-lose for that. I think.
Now I'm giving them. Now he's in my DMs every day. Oh God. Now he's picking out my wardrobe.
Yeah. I think I saw one yesterday. It's because somebody brought like a 9-year-old kid to my show, and it was like just. It just went off on how how inappropriate and how like I'm not a Christian and how all these type of things. And I was like, I understand that you were embarrassed. You brought a kid to a comedy show, which you shouldn't have done that. But
see how this is
not a 9-year-old kid. It's a clean comedy show. But to a I mean,
there's a lot. I mean, there's real life.
There's human being topics involved that you're going to be honest about, and you're like, oh, I get it. But you don't like people say things on the. But then there's also 2,000 people in there that gave you a standing ovation. So you're like, all right, one of these cannot be true, right?
How do you separate? I mean, it's like social media is scary, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. I would be homeless if it wasn't for social media. Right. So you're not going to hear me being like.
But how do you separate like social media, like teenage girls that are on there? I mean, it destroys their lives, and it's horrible and it's disgusting. Exactly. Yeah. So how do you separate, the reality versus that?
Well, if I had an answer, I'm going to get on my phone. I mean, it's been 53 minutes without it, and I'm having a hard time.
Are you all right?
No, I'm not all right. Can we pause? Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. I mean, if you're unsure about how you feel about yourself, then people saying things on the internet about you were going to start to listen. And that's what I started to do. Is everybody says you're this and this and this, because it's the... You could have 1,000 people, 2,000, 3,000, 10,000 people say you're the best, and then one person, and you're like, that's the one you listen to.
And I think that's human nature.
Yeah,
I think that's human nature for sure.
But it doesn't. I would say it doesn't like put me in the same spots that it used to. Somebody's saying something.
Why doesn't it?
Because I don't believe that about myself anymore. But I used to. Mm-hmm. I used to think I was that. I go, yeah, it's not. It's not true though.
So where are you today in your faith?
Well, I'm a perfect person, so I like that's my main message.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, so I don't struggle with anything anymore, so that's good.
WWJC.
Yeah. What was that? What would John Crist?
WWJCD.
Oh yeah.
One extra letter for you.
I mean, we went out last night. We were at a bar, and I was like, I want to like sneak away and drink. I'm sober.
Do you struggle with that? Like, do you want to drink? Like, my wife the other day was like, I think you should.
Dude, of
like,
course.
if you took a year off for drinking, I think it'd be awesome. Like, well, I don't know. I don't have a problem.
I'm like a year. I'm like a 2.5 years sober. But
that's awesome. Congrats.
But I mean,
does that annoy you when people say that?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, not that.
No.
But I mean, it like I don't want to like anytime you say like you're like better, then it sets you up to fail again.
Yeah.
I go, I don't know. Like anyone in AA would be like, hey, one day at a time, man. No one would be like, once you start getting up there, be like, I'm the leader of sobriety. That's when you put yourself at risk to be like, if you do slip up, you're gonna start drinking.
You're starting to write checks.
Tito's
you may
in
not
your
be able
closet.
to cash.
Yeah, you're gonna drink Tito's in your closet and say it's Sprite. That's what you're gonna have to do. Yeah.
So what's your struggle now?
I mean,
because your struggle, I guess, back then,
attention has always been the same. That was always it was never anything else. It was always that.
And that's how you probably got into comedy. You probably made
you got attention from
people
women.
Laugh. Yeah.
And so if you're doing a sold out show, and then you're just gonna walk around the corner and check into the Hampton Inn and just like, what, what are you supposed to do? Like I was like bullied. I was like bullied in high school, got turned down, like rejected for prom and all these kind of things. And then like all of a sudden you're going on the road, you got money, and like women are like, what's up? What?
It was the new haircut.
Well, I
mean, I've seen some yearbook pics you post, which I know you're in a good place.
That's why I don't.
If you're not, you can't post those pictures. You're like, you post it, I kill you. You post it,
that's
I
why
kill
I
you.
only do video. I only do podcasts that are videos, so
because
people
it looks
can
so
see
good
me.
now.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
That's stupid, dude.
There's some girl out there who's like, I date 9s and 10s.
Yeah,
like Chris.
Well, I only would be if I was a 9 or a 10. It's only since comedy, because that makes you like, if you see like so and so like an athlete, you saw like a baseball player, like what's his name, the pitcher for the Dodgers,
Kershaw.
If you saw him like
back in the day
at a Chili's, you'd be like,
yeah.
But then if you saw him at a Chili's, that guy's a solid 5, 6.
Sorry, Clayton.
No, he wouldn't. But me the same. Everybody. No,
right,
not the,
right.
What's the guy that's
it's
the
that
pitcher?
Prestige.
No, what's the guy? The guy that rips the pitcher for the Astros. That is just a beast. But he looks like the most average guy ever. He rips his shirt off after the game. What's his name?
Verlander. I mean, no, it's not Verlander.
No, I don't. It doesn't matter. But if you saw that guy in O'Charlie's,
right,
like they'd be like, that's an average guy. But then you go like. See him doing the thing that he's great at, and you're like, oh, that's a 10.
Yep.
Clayton Kershaw is a 10. Because the rules...
$250 million contract.
Yeah, you're 100% a 10. Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Man.
Yeah, my guy. Yeah.
I get that, though. I mean, that makes sense.
But if you like, I mean, my scale probably, my numbers would probably take a couple notches down.
I don't know. Some girls like the bad boy.
Okay, let's not. We don't have to talk about this. That's the new topic.
So but generally speaking, like who's old John compared to new John today?
Me and my friend have this conversation about like, just try to be like the most honest you can with yourself. That's it. Like, I don't believe anyone gets up any cult leader, going back all full circle, any cult leader that is like, I'm going to try to swindle these people out of their money. They don't think that. They think they are
doing something for them.
Or for them, yeah, they think they are doing a good thing.
Right.
They do. And I could say, like, after a show, if I like DM'd some girl or we hung out, I have to first convince myself of a couple different things. Well, they came to my show. They probably want to. I'm the man. They're like, you can't. I've always said, like, if you're gonna scream at like the girl at Starbucks at 6 a.m. for making her coffee bed, what you first have to put out of your mind is that like she probably woke up at 3.
Yep.
She's probably in college. She's making $12 an hour. She's been doing this for 5 hours straight.
You got to make the moment all about yourself.
You got to put that. You got to put those facts aside, and then you can scream at her. So like the John Crist now would be like, hey, are you just like? I said at my show the other day. I was trying to like encourage everybody at the show. I go, listen, I just come here, like, we'd like to tell you jokes, like, encourage you. Like, it's not about the money. I mean, I'm making a lot of money from being here, but it's not about the money. Like, being, like, very, very honest. Like, if you would ask me, sometimes I just would post an Instagram story at 5:00 at night because I was going to be alone that night. I didn't have any plans, and those DMs and notifications was gonna get me through the night. Mm-hmm. But I would never have admitted that before.
I mean, that makes sense.
Never,
100%.
never. But not to a therapist or to a counselor, to myself. Mm-hmm. But now you can be like, hey, I always would be like, if a girl posted, like, I've said that before about, like, if a girl posted, like, it's in the middle of winter, she posts, like, a bikini photo. She's like,
can't wait for summer.
First of all,
anyone else missed the Bahamas?
First of all, that accent is very offensive to women. So, yeah.
Ugh, sorry.
Like, whatever, like, but just say, like, hey, I'm, like, feeling a little lonely. And, like,
people will be like, we got you.
And, like, 300 likes would, like, make me feel pretty good. Done, dude.
Let's see if we can get to 400,
like it,
though.
or whatever. What it just said,
yeah.
like. But that is a very, very, very honest. Like, we were talking with a. There's a.
I'm about 300 likes sad right now.
And
fill my cup.
And this is not going to get. This is not the long term solution. But I'm going to go to bed in 4 hours, and I just see my phone light up for a few hours and feel good. I would like it.
Sleep
I would
like
reshare it. Probably not reshare it, but I would. I probably couldn't like it. I would like it from my burner account. I would. That's a joke.
You and Durant.
But there was a country artist. I wouldn't say. I'm not going to try to say their name or their gender, just to protect they. This is going to go bad. But we were talking. This is an African American country artist.
All right, we're down to like 4.
Okay, dude.
That's the biggest way to just. There's the field just shrunk significantly. I mean, there's a billion females.
Okay, yeah, no, here we are.
There's 800 Brads and Colts. He could have done that.
I'm not going to say it, but it's a guy named Colton. I'm just kidding. His name's not Colton. But we were like, me and my friend thought in our heads, I go, this person is on everything. Mm-hmm. They're hosting the award shows. They're on the Today Show. They're on Spot. They're on all they're writing with all these collabs with and their career is not deserving of those accolades, right? Mm-hmm. That's what I thought in my head, and I start to be like, that's annoying that this, and then I saw this person out at a bar, and we were talking very honestly, and they said, yo, dude, I'm just cashing in on that white guilt stimulus check. And what I'm saying is they were honest about
what's happening.
And I go, I love you.
I'm in for this.
I love you.
Yeah, like the self-awareness.
That's it.
Is powerful.
That's it. And that's, if you say, what's the difference between John back then and John now? It's just that. Mm-hmm. Not that I'm better or I'm in any position to say, but if you go like if he goes, I'm just like out here, and I go, he knew, mm-hmm. He was self-aware about what his situation was, and I immediately went from like, screw that guy to like, I love that guy.
Yeah.
Even in a second, because he was like, yeah, I know what's going on here. And I go, just like the girl that posted the bikini photo. If you said,
I need a couple double taps.
If you said, hey, what's going on here? And she said, like they always get around posting the bikini photos with like 20% off with the code. I go, just say it. Just say you look good in this.
This is a business.
Just say you look good in a swimsuit. What are the commissions? $1.75 off of this? This
your $19 Kohl's suit.
Come on.
That
I always say the joke, and you take them too far. Dude. Yeah. Just say, hey, this makes you. I need some attention. Mm-hmm. But every human loves that.
Absolutely.
Right?
Mm-hmm. I think it's the ability to control it, not let it get out of control.
Yeah.
Like the guy on Twitter on the left or the right that just was like, oh, how far can I push this? I have
And
I think having a faith is part of that. Like, you know where the boundaries are internally when you have a faith. Like, I'm not gonna wreck this dude because he missed a free throw and tell him he should kill himself and I hate you.
Like,
you
hey,
should
that's
die.
Part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if they like, we were at a bar last night, and it was like, there was a lot of people like coming up and like taking photos with me and being like,
naturally.
Well, no, I'm saying this to be self-aware.
Yeah.
If somebody's like, does that get annoying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I don't ask for you to come up here.
No. But what back to the newspaper headlines? The only thing worse
is that you didn't know who I was,
and if no one said anything, and it's the people I'm with,
and then you're like, well, wasn't that nice? No one noticed me. Probably not true, right?
No,
you know that guy though.
That's the worst.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's the worst because you go, hey, does it feel kind of good, especially when you're with friends that you're trying to impress, and they were like, hey, does it feel good that like people come out? If you were honest,
absolutely,
you would go, yeah, it feels great. It feels great.
Yeah, I mean,
so but no one would. That's like I feel like you watch my whatever I'm doing on the internet. It's like, how could he be so honest, or how can he?
Because if you're not, then you're in way more pain, and it's way less fun.
And I was there was a girl that lives in town that is again, I'm not trying to put anybody out like I'm not gonna.
What is she, John?
I go. She's always, let's say, very public. Always in the news. Okay. Always finds herself in the news and always drumming it up. And I just coming from where I come from, I go, hey, like, but it feels good, right?
You like this?
Yeah, just give me like 1%.
You know exactly what you're doing.
And she goes, no, I hate it. I go,
so you hate life? Like, so how miserable are you then?
You could. You know, it just drives that I can't with those type of people. I can't like with you and like Marty or like people that are like in this community of like honest. And now I'm not 100% honest.
We still all have our things that like
everybody.
I'm not ready. Like there's been a couple of times I was going to interject, but not yet.
1,000. Yeah,
maybe next time.
Let's keep it. Yeah. Where you like. But if somebody just is like honest, and then you go. I mean, it's just so hard to admit.
How do
yourself?
Somebody that's listening to a Relatable Journey right now or watching, how do you?
Hopefully watching.
Well, for your sake, get those mentions up.
I know you're gonna choose this.
Is that why you were mad
that
I
put this as the highlight, and it's gonna annoy me?
Is that why you're mad we put the headsets on because the hair?
No, dude, I'm not.
You're not gonna make me wear the headset, are you? Well,
I did like try to put myself together before I came here.
And then you walked in, insulted my shirt for having a collar.
I didn't insult it.
Well, you didn't. Weren't like, that looks nice.
We look like we're straight out of a Gap commercial, dude. If you saw the thumbnail of this, you'd be like, I'm good. 100%.
I know what they're talking about already.
Once we get into it, they're gonna be like, oh, I'm engaged in this. Yeah. But if you like saw this and this, they're like, no, I'm good.
I know this podcast.
I don't know it, but I think I got it.
You mentioned your back to honesty because I think it's super awesome. Like when you're talking to your friend, you're like, you guys have this time of, it sounds like
yeah, all the time.
What does he have to call you out on? Like, you're not being honest, John. What it's like the one thing over and over again you're not honest about?
Well, my therapist is like, I feel like I'm saying, he just sits there. I feel like I'm saying it out loud and I'm hearing myself say it and it's a lie. Like in your head, you just go.
Does he just wait for you to be like?
He goes,
"I'm sorry, that wasn't true."
Huh? That's not true. I go, yeah, like yeah. It's not, or like, is there a percentage of you that just did that for the attention, or is there a percentage of it? And if you go, like, in rehab, all you have to do is just admit it, and then they go, "Great, session's over."
But that's hard. It sounds
the hardest.
So, what do you struggle with today about being honest about?
I mean, my personal life, like if you talk about, I want to just be a comedian. Oh, I just want to, like, you still want to be, like, I struggle with. There's other comics that that were smaller than me that are now bigger than me,
and that hurts.
Very
that
hard.
Sucks.
It's very hard. And so like you could do like a 1,000-seat venue and like sell it out versus like a 10,000 seater and have 9,000 not sold out. Like the 1,000's better.
Yeah,
because
especially in the moment.
It's like never ending. It's a never ending scale. So like you go from like Zanies to maybe adding shows at Zany's to the T-Pack, to the Ryman, to the Opry, to Bridgestone, to Nissan. Like, if in this town, if you're never going to go to, but like, you get to, if you got to like Jim Gaffigan's at the Bridgestone, that's the hockey arena. That's like, it's like Jim Gaffigan,
Smashville,
Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart.
Have you played there yet?
Dude, I just told you this is my insecurity.
Right. So the next question is, how do you not make
helpful,
it that?
Dude, this is not helpful.
Because all those awesome names that played there.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah.
How do you get over that? Like, what's your?
Well, there's a never ending.
Is there a different perspective that you have now where that doesn't weigh on you like it used to?
But still does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I caught myself. There was so like Morgan Wallen sold out the Bridgestone in he did 3 shows there, sold it out on the pre-sale. Then you're like, well,
I'm just selling out in regular sale.
Yeah, then you hate him. And then you're like, oh, Nissan. You're like, oh, and then it's like, oh, you never get off this train. Yeah. This goes for forever.
And the Bible says that. Like, you can't compare yourself to other people.
No.
It's a never winning game.
But then somebody goes, dude, I was telling somebody the other day, if you're a comedian for a living, you do jokes for a job, we should just all wake up, get on a conference call and be like, we hit the lottery.
Yeah.
Really? If you do,
because if
that's unbelievable.
It's like if you were a kid.
Unbelievable.
If you were a kid.
Yes.
And you're like, one day I'll sell out the Opry.
Yeah. Or Zany's. Like, it's 250 seats. That is
a
gigantic accomplishment. That is gigantic. But you go,
there's always more.
Yeah.
It's like money,
Always.
How much more money? It's never enough. There's always a little bit more.
Like you got like a yacht. And you got like
there's always a bigger yacht.
Yeah, the guy. That's my favorite, dude. Is it? We're in San Diego.
Yeah, but I don't have the Sea-Doos or the helicopter.
And then the guy has you have the biggest yacht, and then the guy pulls up with it, and you just go, "I'm gonna burn his house down. I will burn his house down." But if somebody like that guy, if you go, "Hey, does this make you feel?" I mean, like I'm trying to like put a therapist into that situation. Does this make you feel some kind of way that you were the king of this port, and then a guy just pulled in with a bigger yacht? Does it make you feel bad? You go, yes.
So what's the scale of like, how do you admit that and not make you feel worse? I'm like, oh, great, now I feel bad and I'm a terrible person.
I feel bad about myself. Yeah, or like I looked up. I had a show in Houston, and there was a comedian that I consider to be like a rival. Which he's not a rival. He's a buddy of mine.
Trey Kennedy?
No, not Trey Kennedy. But
look, you didn't say lookalike.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to mention a comedian. I'm not gonna say his name. I just kidding. You're like, we got it. that they go. They announced 3 sold out shows in Houston, and I go, oh God. And I started doing the thing, right? I started getting into my head, and this is what I did. This would be very. I looked up that venue, and I go, "What venue is he at?" And then I went to look at the seating chart and the capacity.
Chart? What's open?
And the capacity, and it was like a 750 seater, and he sold it out 3 times. And I go, "Well, mine is a 3,000 seater, but mine's not sold out." So I go, "Oh, I'm good." Right? Or I
yeah. No, I hear.
Which is.
It sounds sick.
It does. It sounds like it sounds horrible. But I think everybody like.
So do you think it's healthier to feel that way and admit it?
Yes.
So how do you not? Yeah. Is the goal to ever not feel that way?
No, because like if you get somebody, like just said that guy that was like rude to me on the internet, I went to his profile and I go, ugh. And then I just you do that thing.
So the guy in the basement with his cat.
Yeah. Or you go like if you see somebody posts.
How many times have you written something on those guys and then
never once?
it?
Oh, all the time. Yeah, I write it in my head. You know what I did when I was at the Hawks Bulls game? I was down on the court.
Of course you were.
And this guy was chirping the whole time, a Bulls fan, about we were sitting behind the Hawks bench about Lou Williams, about how he went to the strip club. Yeah. He left the bubble to go to the strip club.
It was for the wings.
The wings. Yeah.
It's for the wings.
So he goes,
Lou, just come out.
He goes, yeah. Then we would go, we love you, dude.
Yeah,
we love you.
Got it.
Charles Barkley, remember he got arrested going to find drugs with prostitutes in his car. And you know what he said? He goes, yeah, I got a problem. I need to get some help. We go, We love you.
We're here for you.
We're good. You're good. You're good with us. You're good with us. The guy was just chirping about, hey, Lou, let me get them lemon pepper wings. They're like, the whole time. And I was just like, just in my head, just like, I turned around to him and I go, everybody was kind of annoyed. Maybe they weren't. I don't know. I go, hey, dude, like, make sure when you leave here to text your dad and tell him thanks for the tickets because we know you don't belong down here. These are not your tickets. You didn't buy these tickets. You're acting in a way.
You don't act like you're belonging.
You do not belong here. You're making everybody uncomfortable. Just tell your dad thanks for the free tickets.
How'd that make you feel?
Oh, so good, dude. My heart's beating fast now telling about it. And everybody was like, I felt
got him.
So good.
You sit down and look next to who you're with.
Oh, so
you hear that?
Hey, dude, I got him.
You hear that?
But like,
tweet about it.
Yeah, 100%.
John,
I'm telling the story here. I'm telling like, dude, that guy is so funny.
But that line is also like the reason it also probably hurt him is it's true.
Probably, and that was like.
Did you regret it? Do you regret it?
No. If I probably heard his story, I would. Just like in
He's
rehab.
The Starbucks lady.
Yeah, 100%. That he was just down there and maybe he drank too much, but he would be like, I drank too much. I like to go to the games and like I like to let loose because my life is like but that goes for everybody. Mm-hmm. If you humanize any person on earth, you hear their story, you go, oh yeah, we love you. Because in rehab, everybody, the guy that comes in after you, somebody new comes in every other day, and you hear their story and you go, the most horrific criminal acts of everything, and you hear if they can be honest about themselves, you hear their story and you love them. Everybody. So like everybody.
This next like we've been doing this for an hour 15, and it feels, and I mean this genuinely, it feels like we've been doing it for 10 minutes. I feel
like we always do. Yeah.
But because it's an honest conversation, you can't have I feel like we don't have in life anymore. Like the guy producing this Lagos tonight, when we went to dinner last night.
Wildly dishonest with himself. Oh no! Okay. Oh, sorry.
He'll be next in that chair. We got to bring the couch out for him when he comes out.
Got it. Yeah.
But like we had a conversation at dinner last night, and it was just like a awesome conversation that you don't ever have with people, like especially because social media is the way you communicate anymore. Yeah. And it's like you in order to say your opinion or have an honest conversation, it's got to be like a 45
whole thing
thread, and everyone's like, ugh,
well,
like,
dude,
whatever.
We connected in right field.
Yeah.
And I go, this is a guy. Mm-hmm. This is a guy that's like me, in 30 seconds, right? I go, this guy is, you just like the girl when I go on Instagram, like, be honest, you kind of like this. And she's like, no, I go, bye. I'm sorry. I don't.
Mm-hmm. You admit your flaws, admit who you are. So, I say these conversations are so good and they're so healthy, and they don't happen enough in our world.
Yeah.
What would you tell the person that's watching, listening right now? How do they become honest with themselves?
Well, I would say one, I can't really be the voice of encouraging people to do that because my hand was forced. I got caught. Mm-hmm. And I maybe chose a healthy solution from that, but like, hey, go tell your dad that you're not I wouldn't.
Why open that door?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Right.
Or like, hey, go be honest with your boss about how you've been, because then it's like.
Well, to bring this back biblically, God says like, hey, you ask for forgiveness from me, but like you need to talk to other people about this.
Talk to it.
You have to. Like that's part of the Bible.
We were talking about with the girl that I'm dating. I go, hey, when you dress up and go out with your girlfriends, like you want to be, you want to look
good.
Yes.
Yeah.
To men. Mm-hmm. And when you walk in, now you're not wanting to go sleep with them or wanting to go, but you want men to be like, what's up? Sorry,
taken.
Yeah, or
John Crist.
Sure,
know him?
Sure, whatever. Yeah, look him up. Don't Google him, but look him up on Instagram. But if you can go, you're putting yourself together. You're like, yeah. We're good.
Yes.
And when I told her, I go, after my show, there's a meet and greet with people come back, if like attractive women coming back, getting a photo. That will never not feel amazing. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to say for the rest, I would always feel awesome. Mm-hmm. And then if you go, okay, that makes sense because you're a human person. Great. We're done. Not we're done, but like maybe you keep an eye on it or maybe like that's an area, but like we're good.
Yep.
We're like, hey, I just want to it was what's her name? Steph Curry's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Remember she when she came into the league, she was like, everybody, she would always walk in on the court side and everybody would look at her. And then she said she had 2 kids, and then like men didn't necessarily, and she said she was kind of bummed.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, no one wants to live in a world where people are getting harassed or being unnecessarily approached. But like, that's a very, very honest thing to say.
100%.
Very honest to be like, hey, but I'm sure every woman would be like, yep.
Guys too.
Yes.
Like you're not
dude,
on.
yes.
I'm not on TV because I dislike people watching me.
Yes. Or like anybody, like
you want the attention.
But if you
enjoy it, at least.
If it like, yeah, to just say that.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's all kind of people with all kind of issues in rehab. I joked around about like I bought a pair of, where were we the other day? Some girl was wearing some outfit she was from LA and she was in Nashville, and I was with a friend that was very fashionable, and she goes, that's like a $2,500 set of like, it was like loungewear, like sweatpants with like some brand that I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, we were joking because I was like, that's a bummer because you're not getting the ROI on that here, because we don't
recognize that currency.
No, we don't. But
that's
like
the yen, and you're in America.
Yeah,
honey.
yeah. You're like, this isn't like, you're like, oh, but like you wore that brand is like in LA. You're like, oh my goodness, that is the flex of all time, because it's like not a dress, it's like loungewear.
Yeah.
What a baller.
Go to the Exchange Center. It's the bar. Go grab a bunch of Miller Lights with that, and now you're in.
Now you're in. But you go, oh, you're not. That's a bummer. They were like, hey, did you like? I just like that it's comfortable, or like I just is the only thing in my bag. I'm like, oh, BS. Just sorry, this is getting. We're
it's
like,
just comfy.
Just say it. And then we got anybody that just says it. We're like, great. But I would, if you're going back to the original point, just how do you? I would say just try it on something small. And then people go like, every time I ever said anything about myself, everyone goes, same.
Mm-hmm.
Every time. And but I still struggle with being honest about myself, and I'm like very open guy. Yeah. So if the people are like waiting, like, oh, an hour 20 in, they're going to get to the resolution. I'm like, yeah, we got nothing.
Last one, now that we're this deep in.
Yeah.
Are you shocked at the person you are now, and would you ever change the worst time of your life?
Well, I always we kind of like, what's like hindsight's 20/20, or think about but you're like, well, what if that didn't happen? I was out of my mind, dude. Like, not like this conversation would never happen.
That's what I mean.
Never.
Like, are you shocked at who you are now? And if you are or are not, are you glad you are?
1,000%. Yeah, there was. I wish there was another like way, but I don't think there is, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other like. I'm not a big like. Well, maybe I am. I don't know, but like I never regret my. Because it was, I don't know why I'm talking.
That's what's gonna. I was gonna, like, why is the guy that massages his wife and like, I'll never regret.
I will never regret when I wrecked my car to DUI. Or like, well, that's not true. Like,
you should.
Yeah, you probably should. But
like, you gotta.
You're
learn.
better from it.
I mean,
but you chose. Yeah. I mean, there's.
I think it's a recognition. So like, just bringing faith back into it. You're thankful not for everything.
100%.
You're thankful in everything, 100%. And God can use your dumb mistakes for good.
But you hear that and you go, there's no way. But yeah, it's true. And you don't. Yeah, if I was like, why? Because I remember the conversation with the girl about the DMs, about just be honest, people would do that to me.
Mm-hmm.
3 years ago, I'd go, nah, dude, I'm just like, I would say something like, I would go like we would like visit a kid in the hospital, because there's like kids that would like my videos, and they were like, it was in Charlotte. I remember we went to the hospital to visit some kid that he was like, he liked my videos or something, and I was like, you know what, this is what it's all about. I'm like, oh, stop it, dude. Like kind of, maybe,
but it is
3%.
Is it more now about that than it ever was?
Yeah. Because you're like, well, what? There's no.
I mean, it better be, right?
Yeah. Otherwise, what's the point of this?
You gotta go back.
Yeah.
Back to Arizona.
Check back. I would go back there in a second, man. play. Well, no, it's horrible.
Would you?
Not. It's too honest.
You'd be you'd be good. Like everyone would be like, man, this guy's awesome.
No,
you would not be good. You'd be the all-star rehab guy.
They'd find somebody. Any person that would go in there, they just keep like prod around and like poke at you until they find something. Then whatever your insecurity is, and then you like, oh, it's the best. I mean, it's not the best. It's the worst.
It's a massage of the soul.
Yeah. No, it's horrific. Well, they take away, like everybody that goes to any kind of rehab that's like, they have like video games or like massages or like that's not rehab or that's not or like hot tubs and like that's not
like white collar prison like where Martha Stewart went.
Stop.
We didn't do prison.
All right, so they take away all. So after a show, I would go into my hotel room at night. I was physically unable to last alone and sober through the night. I was incapable. It was in so much pain or so much shame or so much whatever. I couldn't. So I needed to be either with a woman or drinking or something.
What's your mechanism now to not be that?
Well,
on the road?
I still get on the internet.
Yeah, but not drink. How do you not drink?
That was never really my thing.
Okay.
Nor was the women. The thing was the attention that somebody loved me.
So you're still getting your feed. You're just doing it in a more appropriate
Well, I mean,
manner.
you don't. If you're like a workaholic, you don't have to go to rehab for that.
Yeah.
It might cause you surprise. Like you don't go to rehab when you get a DUI or like. They're like everybody's does things that are unhealthy for them. Like if you sit in there and watch the Housewives, or they'd be like you're disconnecting from reality because your reality is too hard. But reality is hard. Life is hard. Mm-hmm. But there's no in rehab. Anyone that would be good, there's no disconnection, no drugs, no alcohol, no women, no cell phones, no music, no fiction books, no sugar, no caffeine, no playing cards. Even if you like to get a runner's high, get endorphins from running, no exercise. No, or you can walk like 15 minutes a day. But what they want you to do is just like, what was I escaping from exactly? Mm-hmm. Why? What thoughts or what honest thoughts about myself was I so scared? And now I'm not scared of that anymore. I would be alone by myself and I'd be fine. You got to escape and play Call of Duty, but I'm a better person.
I have my moments. Yeah. I got to make the kid cry.
Yeah, then I got to go play Call of Duty.
Got him.
Yeah. You feel good about yourself in Call of Duty.
Yep.
Same type of
I'm
thing.
not good enough to. That sucks.
Oh, you got to
get better.
Do they bully you on there?
Yeah. See, like when they kill you, and the worst is they don't know how old you are, and then they yell at you when they kill you. You're like, dude, you're like 6.
And then you think,
and they're like, well, I just killed you. Like, well,
you're gonna be like me at the Bulls game. You're like, I want out. And you know what? The only reason that comment worked is because I was sitting better than him.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't work behind him.
Hey, turn around and look at me while I insult you. Doesn't
like
work
better
well.
Tickets.
Yeah. Turn around and look at me.
Yeah, but if somebody goes, hey, just be honest, and I go, like somebody, well, that story, I can't tell that. There's no way I can tell the story without.
Safe space.
All right, I'll tell the story. It's not a safe space. It's going public. This is a safe space, but you're going to put it on the internet.
Exactly.
I'll tell you the story. So when I dated a woman prior to going into rehab, and then afterwards, there was a bunch of stuff in the news about me and her, and she said some things that I disagreed with or whatever. Fine. Mm-hmm. But that's part of the business. Everybody's got to make a living. I get it. So she put out a song about me about
loved that.
What, dude? Know why you say that? Then she put out like some songs about me, and then my brother-in-law, I go, dude, listen to this. And he goes, dude, if those weren't about you, you'd be pissed. I go,
who's she talking about?
I go, you know what? That's probably a fair point. You know, if it was about some other guy, not me.
Yeah.
So there's a song about what's it called when you get the shirt? You make a spray paint on the shirts.
Tie dye?
Like in Gatlinburg. No, in what's it called? You know, you get a spray. Airbrush. There was like about an airbrush shirt that we got together on vacation, and I was like, I'm gonna get that shirt out of my storage and like wear it on the show
accidentally.
And I wear like a jean jacket over it to be like
just a shirt.
And somebody,
this shirt.
Oh, weird. To be to be like the guy I was at the Bulls game.
Yeah.
To be him, right? And I told that to somebody, one of my close friends. I'm not going to say their name either because they don't need to be involved in the story. But they go, hey, that's probably a poor choice. And it was very like.
You don't think it's funny?
So someone to be honest with you like that is like.
How important is that now in your life to have?
But that was the nicest. That was the greatest act of love anyone could have ever done to me. So that was been a horrific, just a petty, embarrassing thing to do, and it's just like. But that person needs to be protected at all costs in my life. That person needs to be my brother-in-law who said that about me, and the person that said this. You should not do that.
That's the person.
And now we have like agents, managers, and like I wanted to go on this one show, and my PR person was like, "Hey, let's not do that." And it was so like, but then you can sit with it for like a day, and you'll be like, yeah, you're probably
I can see
right.
that was a good non.
Yeah, it was a hard, but you look back on it and you go, you know what?
Thank you.
Yeah, good looking out. But I don't know
Appreciate
if you're like get too big where no one's saying.
Well, that's how it's like in athletics. I mean, these
pastors,
guys have all their
the same
boys.
thing. That's what happened to me.
All the yes men.
Yeah, no one. It was so much money. So many people. Everyone around me was getting paid by me.
Mm-hmm.
So no one's gonna be like, hey,
yeah,
this is not a good look. You're getting hammered at your meet and greet.
Don't do you, I need my money.
No one's going to say that. And if someone does in your personal life, whether it's a spouse or a friend that is risking their friendship with you, to be honest with you, that person needs to be protected at all costs.
100%.
At all costs. Yeah.
My wife loves that one.
Yeah. Just remember that. Yeah. Well, you're the same. Hopefully, if you're like, you ever see somebody, you're like making like just horrific choices, like, who's like.
Yeah. Who's
around?
Where's the crowd on this one?
It's embarrassing. Is anyone be like, hey, maybe not?
Let's rein it in.
Nobody. I don't know.
There's a lot of instances.
But anybody, like I feel like less and less judgmental towards someone else that is struggling or going through something. You go, yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
dude. I get it.
Like I refused when I was coming up.
I got
in the industry. Like I wasn't good. Who knows what I am now?
You're good, dude.
Go on.
Yeah. No. You want? Yeah. List some other things. Yeah. Well, maybe rein it in on Twitter, but other than that.
Like I refused to watch bloopers, and I still do to this day.
Of yourself?
No, of anyone else.
Okay.
Because I refuse to laugh at them.
Okay.
And then I'll be like the next one, and be like, oh man, like
why?
That's gonna be me. Well, because I feel terrible for them.
Yep.
Like they're being laughed at across the
you talking
world.
about someone in news or someone in broadcasting?
Yeah, like they fall on the ice. Like whatever it happens in broadcasting, like the bloopers that are just horrible.
Yeah.
Like that's legit. Like it's gonna stay with you forever. Like you're gonna walk out and be like, oh, you're now known.
But that's what you think.
And that's
but
tough.
that's not true. But that's what you think. But
no, you're always like if you're in local news and you're the guy that fell on ice, you're always the guy that fell on ice.
Boom goes the dynamite guy. Yeah.
Boom goes the dynamite guy. Who is he to you now? He's always Boom goes.
You know the guy that's always been like kind of suicidal and like is the Bartman for the Cubs.
Oh yeah, how horrible! Like
that's it for the rest of your life that you took right.
And the ball was out of play essentially. Like it was.
Yeah.
And who's not good?
And if anyone like he got crushed.
Yeah, he had to move. He had to go into witness protection.
But if you like heard his story, you'd be like, I love the Cubs more than anybody.
Yeah. 100%.
And you go, oh.
And don't you like? He's got a green turtleneck on and like a weird hat.
I'm not
gonna
go with
But
you
I'm saying, doesn't that make you want to like embrace him even more? Like,
and then you have like
exactly the old like JVC headphones, off American Airlines.
But okay, dude, we get shot at American after they're like, I'm gonna get out of here with no American Airlines references, and here we are. Like, yeah, but you go, like when we like whoever we like on the court, like you're crushing them, you know?
Yeah.
Like, those kids, we were at Kentucky. They were just getting.
And they're kids. It's even worse.
They're 18, 19-year-old kids were like tweeting it, like grown men tweeting at them. Like, this is probably not the move.
The worst I ever not heard but know of is Steve Kerr's dad was like killed overseas by some like crazy regime or something like that.
Yeah.
And he played for Arizona. I think it was Arizona State they played, and they started chanting like about that. Like
just tough.
But
if you're tweeting at Steve Kerr's about that, Unfortunately, now if that guy with tweeting could be honest, if he was in rehab, he's like, hey, you know what? I'm a little lonely. I'm a little sad and depressed. When I get on the internet,
I get my fill. Yeah.
You would go, I get it. Shoot. I think that's extreme. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't go that far, but I get it.
Yeah. All right. We're going to wrap this up.
Are we going to pray now or what? I mean,
grab my hand.
Every head bowed and every eye closed. Everyone's like, wow, this guy's a comedian? Well, not never going to that guy's show, but yeah.
I was just to keep this going.
Yeah. It was an
thoroughly loved your show. Like I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah,
in Charlotte because you didn't put me. You made me work for it.
No, that's not true. I put you on the list.
Hannah, my wife, comes. She's on the ICU. She comes out of the ICU. She's like, "Are we good?
Don't
We
try
good?
to
We
put
good?"
everybody on your side by
we're
saying
good.
the ICU.
Yeah, so I married a nurse because that's the right thing to do, John. And so we get there. I go, "Hi, 2 tickets under Kunkel." Nope.
Did you say it in that accent, like authoritative like that?
Kunkel.
Yeah.
Now.
And they said,
and they're like, "Oh, who are they from?" I'm like, "John."
Yeah, from the guy.
We got nothing.
Yeah, nothing. That's not true.
So I'm sitting outside for 10 minutes. You sent a handler down and took care of us.
Your wife was like, had to go back to the emergency room.
Yeah,
like,
I'm just going to go save people.
People were dying.
It's a waste of my time.
Yeah.
But it was, dude, I thought it was, I was legitimately like
a good time.
Enthralled by the humor.
Easy to make fun of Charlotte. Yeah,
no, it was the airline industry that you went after that got me.
Is
there a doctor here on this flight?
Don't ruin the joke, dude. Yeah.
Was it Southwest or Spirit?
Spirit. Come on, man.
What'd you say?
I would never.
You said Spirit?
Not American.
Yeah, no, I'm a big. I fly out of Charlotte. I love American.
I'll see you in right field in September.
Always, man.
Thank you for tuning in to A Relatable Journey. However you watched or listened, please tell your friends, and also 5 stars, a like, a subscribe, whatever it takes to help spread this message. We appreciate you, and thank you again.